Welcome to today's episode of Sassy Detectives. We're your hosts,
Tori.
and Rae. We are here to talk about anything and everything Nancy drew, and today we'll be talking about Treasure in the Royal Tower. Roll the intro. Alrighty, so today we have a nice winter game to start off the winter season, if it's winter for any of y'all right now.
It doesn't quite feel like winter for me yet, but I also live in the South, so
Yeah. I was gonna be like, you have a little bit of a different winter than I do here on the northwest region of the continental US. So
Exactly.
it's quite cold where I am right now. My car door almost froze shut the other day, so that was fun.
already.
Yeah.
Dang.
You're lucky you don't have to deal with car doors being shut or being
No.
locked outside in the snow in a ski lodge like a
That's
certain
true.
person in the game today.
So
But
how
yes.
this game is a classic. A classic.
A classic.
So I guess we'll just kick it off. Like we should just talk about the plot and then just break it down as we go, like we do.
Oh, yes.
So
Yes,
do you want to
absolutely.
start or you want me to start?
I think I'll start. So
Okay.
we start off with Nancy writing a letter to Bess and George. And she's like, yeah, I'm writing a letter. I'm at this cool ski lodge resort castle thing with a cool tower because of my dad's friend or something like that. I get confused sometimes. But so yeah, and she's talking about how the tower was owned by Marie Antoinette, which is a sleigh. But yeah, and then she gets done reading off the letter and she's like, now all I need is an envelope. And there is this terrible noise coming from the radiator in Nancy's room. And every time I hear it, I want to scream.
You mean you don't like a sound every time you walk into the room?
I hate it. I hate it so much. I detest
ASMR
sound.
warning.
ASMR radiator noises.
Yeah.
Oh, that would be terrible. I would hate that. Somebody would probably like it, but not me.
Yeah.
No, not at all. But yeah, you can look at Nancy's drawers and stuff. There's a bunch of stuff like a key card, something that tells her the lock combination for her locker in the ski sauna-ish place where you go outside. I forgot what that room is called. Locker room. Oh my god.
It's okay. It's okay.
It's literally called a locker room.
The
I'm
room with the
struggling
lockers.
today. The room with the lockers. But so you have that, and then we also have a Sassy Detective magazine on the desk, or no,
Oh,
the
hey.
table. So like,
We're the Sassy Detectives.
thank you for the what is it?
Inspiration.
The I was going to say thank you for the free advertisement from 20 years ago.
Yeah. 22 years ago.
22. Oh yeah, it's as old as me. Few months younger than me, but there we go. Yeah. But yes. And we can go outside and explore the castle, and it's really, really cool, and you can go down the halls. There's these beautiful stained glass windows. And if I had stained glass windows wherever I was staying, I would look at them for like hours at a time. Because pretty, you know?
So pretty. So
They're
did
so
you
pretty.
ever, as a child, did you ever get lost in
Yes.
the castle? Because
Yes.
I definitely did.
Yes. It's not even like the castle itself is not that big and there's not like a lot of places to get lost in. But like
I think
yeah.
it's because of the way. I think it's because of the way that, like, mechanically this game
Apparently
runs.
yeah.
So,
It's a
like,
little bit
mechanically, it
Sorry,
everything
my
feels
microphone
kind of
slipped.
samey.
Yeah,
What'd you
sorry,
say?
my microphone slipped. My microphone slipped, so I kind of shrieked. So sorry.
Oh, okay, no, it's fine. I was just saying that, like, I think that, like, everything looks really similar. So because this game is
Yeah.
like it's kind of like, I mean, even just like turning around and like navigating around the castle is kind of clunky. So because of that, I think it's kind of difficult. Because you're like, oh wait, I thought I just looked at this, but I thought I clicked the forward or whatever. So
graphics and game mechanics. So it's But what are you gonna do? It's 2001. There's not much going on. So one of the places that you can explore, as we said, is the halls. And in one of the halls next to a certain room, you can hear the click-clack typing of a typewriter.
Mm-hmm.
And isn't this at, like, all hours of the day or something?
Yeah, I mean, until, like, obviously spoilers if you're listening to this. But, like, I think you hear typewriting every moment with the exception of when Hotchkiss is down in the lobby.
Yeah. Because Homegirl doesn't stop. The grind does not stop for Hotchkiss.
Can't stop, won't stop. Gotta decode that journal. I'm getting ahead of myself.
We'll get to that. Oh, that part. Okay. So you can go down and talk to the person at the front desk of the hotel, and his name is Dexter Egan, and he is
one of the best characters.
Man. He is a bald man.
He's a bald man.
So we're gonna have a little bald man spotlight for him. So bald man spotlight. Her Interactive loves bald men.
I hope nobody fights me on this, but I genuinely think Dexter Egan is one of the best characters in the Nancy Drew series. I said what I said. But he great.
Is a good character, but he is not good at running a hotel.
Oh no.
He's a fun character. His backstory is interesting. Ezra Wickford was a terrible parent, by the way, but we will get to that.
Yeah, we'll get to that.
We'll get to that, but you can talk to him and you can be like, hey, can you deliver this letter? And he's like, well, we're kind of snowed in. And Nancy's like, oh, that's too bad. And then she's like, hey, can you fix my radiator? And he's like, well, first, can you do these other things for me? And it's like, Dexter, this is a guest at your hotel. Why are you having her do work?
I used to work at hotels. And, like, Dexter's job was my job for many years. And I would never ask a guest to, like, hey, can you deliver this room service for me, please? No way.
Nancy is a lot nicer than I am. No, she's not nicer than I am because she's terrible. But also, like, I don't know. She's special. We'll leave it at that. She's in a league of her own.
Mm-hmm.
But one of the things he tells you to do is to go down to go and deliver some snow boots to Professor Hotchkiss, right? Is that him who gives that to her?
Yeah.
And so she has to go down to the basement. Yeah, she has to go down to the basement and meet Jacques, the French ski instructor, to get the boots from him so she can give it to the guest, Professor Hotchkiss. And Jacques... Sorry, this game... he has a very overdramatic French accent, but like when Nancy first talks to him, he's like, speaks French. I'm sorry, I hate speaking French. We'll probably get to that in another episode, but I do not like French as a language. Like, it sounds good, but it's not for me. But so he says something in French, and Nancy says something back, and he's like, yeah, I'm from France, and she's like, well, did you come to Wisconsin for the cheese?
And honestly, valid question, because I would probably go to Wisconsin for the cheese.
The way she says it, where she's like, for the cheese.
The cheese. Yeah.
Like, oh my god, Nancy.
When I was a
so
kid...
funny.
When I was a kid, I used to think that Jacques Brunet had lots of riz, and now as an adult, I'm like, no, absolutely not.
Man, it has no riz. He's got the... I don't know. He's got short legs. There is this one Tumblr post. It was a whole Tumblr thread.
Wait, pause. He has short legs?
Like, I know we do see his legs in a later scene, but there is this Tumblr post where people took the like the whole view of him at the door desk thing, and they compared like the size of his body to like the height of the door and everything, and they're like, he must have like really short legs, or he's like on his knees or something. And then I think one of my contributions to the post was like, he's secretly a hobbit or something. Because I have to shove hobbits into something somehow. But yeah, anyway, Jacques Brunet, and he has like this little trinket box that he's apparently painting and stuff, and he's there in America because of his fiancée.
Mon petit chou.
Yeah, I'm not gonna speak French. But yeah, and so Nancy, from there, she can get the boots, but she can also go into the locker room and open her locker, but gasp, when she tries to open it up, she, the combination doesn't work, and so she talks to Jacques, and she's like, hey, why can't I open my locker? And he's like, oh, you must have the wrong locker number, because that's the locker combination for the one next to yours. Try this one. And so Nancy, as she does, uses her old locker combination to open somebody else's locker. And because, you know, Nancy has no boundaries. Boundaries do not exist to her. She can and will snoop through your stuff. Whether she knows you or not, because at this point we haven't met this person. But Nancy's gonna snoop through her stuff anyway. So she goes into the locker and she's like, ooh, this is suspicious, because she finds all these IDs for this one person, for this one lady, and they're all different names, like different nationalities and everything, and she's like, this is suspicious. And then she reads a letter that is either to her or from her, that is written in complete Spanish and stuff, and isn't there like a wig or something in there?
I don't remember.
Or like, 'cause I know there's like, maybe that was a different game where there's a wig and somebody's stuff that Nancy was snooping in. Yeah, it was. Yeah, but wow, that's a weird overlap. But then she's like, that's suspicious. That's weird. And then you can go upstairs and you can deliver the boots to Hotchkiss, and she opens the door, just a crack, and then peeks through with her eye, and she's like, oh, hello, Mandy. Or like Nancy's like, hello, I'm Nancy, and she's like, oh, hello, Mandy. Thank you for giving me my boots. Ta-ta. I must get back to writing and stuff. And Nancy's like, okay, I would like to ask you about stuff. Oh wait, at this point, she hasn't talked to... Yeah, but earlier... Before this, actually, isn't that when she talks to Lisa in the foyer?
It depends on how long...
like, yeah.
Yeah, I've noticed it depends on, like, how long it takes you to, like, get through the initial, like, intro and exploration of the castle. Because Lisa's not always present, and if you take a really long time, she's not there. But if you go downstairs pretty quickly, I think she's down there.
Yeah, but like, so you meet Lisa, and she's like, hi, I'm Lisa. I'm so annoying. I hate Lisa. This will be a theme that comes up multiple times this episode. I hate her so much. But anyway, she's like, did you hear about this rumor that somebody here had her room broken into? There are a total of 3 guests.
Yeah, literally.
3 guests.
Like, it's not difficult.
Like, three guests. Why is it so hard to rent a hotel that has 3 guests?
It's not.
There's 3 guests. I mean, there are only 2 employees, but there's 3 guests.
Yeah, but I mean,
there's 3 guests.
Yeah, I mean, 2 employees is more than enough for 3 guests.
Yeah.
I'll tell you that. And like, okay,
but yeah,
so
yes,
tell
me about your hotel
Lisa
stuff.
Is just like the way that every conversation with Lisa, like, she ends up like turning the conversation back to like herself, and I'm just like, yo, like, why are you here?
Like, why are you here, girl? Like, What are
And
you
she's always just
doing?
like, it's I don't know. She's just like a very, very self-serving character. And
We'll get to that.
yeah, but like like having conversations with her is just like a nightmare.
Yeah. Oh
Because
God.
every conversation just like ends up being like what Lisa can get out of you, like gossip wise.
Oh
And
yeah.
yeah,
Totally.
yeah, and plus the way that she talks sometimes, I'm like,
The
why?
entire like, no
Like her,
offense to the voice actress, but what the hell, bro?
it seems
Like,
like she's just going for like petty teenage high schooler.
yeah,
And
and
I'm
it's
like,
like,
what?
girl, you're supposed to be in like your late 20s. Why are
Like,
you
what is the
still talking
concept
like a
here?
13-year-old? Ah, and I hate Lisa so much.
Yeah, I'm not a fan. Not a fan of
Yeah,
Lisa.
yeah, no, I have, yeah,
So anyway, we deliver the boots. We've met everybody now.
yeah.
We've met
And we are
everybody. We
like,
deliver the
hey,
boots.
Hotchkiss, can we ask you about your room being broken into? She's like, not now, Mandy. And like, yeah, I love how she always uses a different name for Nancy. Like, it's never the same name, and I love it. Like, every once in a while she calls her Nancy, but it's usually Mandy, Francine, Nate. Is it her who uses Nadine, or is it Laura Gerard? Somebody like
I think it's Lori that calls her Nadine.
Yeah, I think yeah. But yeah, she's like that, and Nancy's like, okay then. And at this point, I think you can like go to bed or something, or like you can keep exploring and stuff. But if you walk around the castle at night, you hear this weird screeching noise, and like you don't know where it's coming from, but it's like this little like screeching kind of like I can't, it's like a screeching sawing noise that they play, and I cannot replicate it with my voice, so that's just gonna sound really weird.
That's okay.
But yeah.
I think you're doing a good job describing it.
Yeah. Yay. But so you can go around as Nancy and be like, this is kind of weird. And stuff like that. And then yeah, you can just look around, and then you can go into the elevator, and the elevator is pretty cool because it's really old, and it's definitely not going to break down ever. It will.
Well, we have more chores to do too.
We do have more chores to do the next day. So the next day we also have to fix like the light switches and stuff. And the light switches down in the basement in the halls under the council. And like if you turn all of the lights off, you can hear Jacques like screaming like, what are you doing?
Who turned
Nancy,
the lights
turn
off?
the lights! Turn the lights off! What's going on? And it's so funny. He starts like screaming in French, and it's fun to turn all the lights off just to annoy him, which like it's probably mean of me, but also Jacques is kind of annoying, so like why not?
It's difficult though when you like flip the lights off in the basement when you're down there. If you move your mouse at all, you're gonna be like blind clicking to try to get it back on.
Oh yeah. And it is fun, and if you know which things to flip, which switches to flip, it gets a lot. It's like really easy, but if you don't, it's really difficult and
I remember
sad.
being a kid and like the goal is like to light up the stairwell that goes from the basement all the way up to the second floor.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so I remember being a kid and like flipping one switch and then running all the way to the thing and going halfway up the staircase and being like, nope, that's not it. And running all the way back, flipping that one back, flipping the next one, running back.
Yeah.
That was how I figured that puzzle out.
And that's fun. But so yeah, there's that. And then we also have to ask Hotchkiss what she wants for her meal. I don't know if it's lunch, dinner, breakfast. I don't know, but she wants food.
Dinner.
Yeah, I think it's dinner. Yeah. And Dexter wants Nancy to do it because, yeah, I guess
He's got to stand.
Nancy.
He's very busy standing.
He's very busy standing, looking at papers, which have like one sentence written on them and stuff. Very important stuff. Very important. And Nancy she goes and she gives Hotchkiss her menu from her room, and Hotchkiss is like, "Oh yes, I'll have some couscous." Wait, no, that's before Nancy gives her the menu, and so Nancy goes downstairs and tells Dexter she wants couscous, and he's like, "Couscous? I don't even know what that is."
Couscous is delicious,
Uncultured.
by the way. Side note.
Uncultured, Dexter. Couscous is beautiful. Couscous is yummy. It is yummy.
Very good.
But then you go back and you give Hotchkiss the menu so she can order something that's actually on the menu. And she's like, "Oh, I will have, all these delicious options. I will have 50 drumsticks, 50 chicken drumsticks." And Nancy's like, are you sure? And she's like, "Oh, yes." Yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot of chicken drumstick.
What would you say is your personal record for number of drumsticks in a sitting?
3.
3?
3.
Oh. I was gonna say I could
Wait.
probably do like 6.
Yeah. 6. That's probably going to be the limit. 3 is the most I've eaten at one time, but that was because I had a lot of coleslaw.
Oh, okay. Yeah, sides and stuff
coleslaw.
make a difference.
Yeah.
But I'm
but
like,
if I was
50?
only eating chicken drumsticks, I'd probably be 6.
You could not even eat
but like
50 drumsticks fast enough so that they would all be warm.
No, they would get so cold, and like part of me is Hotchkiss human, or is she just like some kind of fairy creature? But like a really weird one that instead of steals your name and stuff, or not steals your name, but instead of like you tell her your name and she can like control you and kidnap you and stuff, it's like you tell her name and she never remembers it afterwards. Like I love Hotchkiss, but like and so Nancy is like, "Dexter, she wants 50 chicken drumsticks," and he's like, "Are you sure?" And she's like, "Yeah, she was pretty sure about it." And he's like, "All right, go tell Jacques to take the bag out of the freezer and thaw it out and stuff." So she tells Jacques, and he's like, "This is not my job." Well, whose job is it then? Is it Dexter's? Is it Nancy's job? Is it Nancy's job, Jacques?
So obviously they have a kitchen. If they have room service, they obviously have a kitchen.
And I think like the rest of the staff is like out, like stuck in the snow or something like that.
But then what? So then, okay, hang on.
Jacques
I'm trying to figure out this
literally doing
logistically.
nothing.
So like, if sorry, maybe I'm thinking way too hard about this, but so does that mean that the kitchen is not always open? Because if the kitchen was always open, then you would probably have a kitchen employee stuck in the castle with everybody. But that'd be too many characters.
Yeah.
So they just like don't explain that, I guess.
But like, yeah, like, God, the people running this hotel, like, Dexter, I love you, but you cannot do you should not be in the hotel business. He's
not exactly the friendliest host.
No. But like, yeah, we get that. And Hotchkiss gets her chicken drumsticks, which makes her like really happy and stuff. And she's very pleased and stuff. And I forgot what happens after this.
So,
the radiator.
Yeah.
Okay, so Dexter will put a radiator in your room, and so you can go and you can take the oil can, and doesn't Nancy say something like, "An oil can, I can use this for the radiator," or something like that when you pick it up? But she says something, and then you can like squirt it onto the radiator and stuff, and the radiator is suddenly all perfect and all fine. I don't know why Dexter couldn't do it himself, but here we are.
And then after you do all of the chores, Dexter tells you like, "All right, well then like feel free to just like do what you want now or whatever." And so you can start exploring. So there's at this point you can try to find a way to get into the library, which Dexter had said that the library had been vandalized and that it looked like somebody had hacked a hole in the wall. So like our goal is to try to figure out like how to get into the library, but it's locked. So we're like, dang, what are we gonna do? So like as you explore the castle, there's a point where you get into the elevator and the elevator gets stuck.
Oh no, we totally didn't know that was going to happen when they put an old elevator in the game.
And so you're like looking around and you're like, oh crud, the call button doesn't work. Like, what am I going to do? And so you're looking around the elevator, and if you look up, there's like a panel in the ceiling of the elevator. So you open it up and you realize, oh, like I can kind of reach the door to the next level up. And honestly, don't try this at home, please.
Yeah, my question is, how did Nancy get up through the roof of the ceiling of the elevator?
She must have jumped, grabbed the edge of the like hole, and then has incredible upper body strength and pulled herself through the hole, opened the door to the floor above her, then pulled herself up. It like
Miss Girl is like, Nancy is low key built like an Assassin's Creed protagonist sometimes. Like, like in this game, in like what's another game where she does stuff like this? Tomb of the Lost Queen. She's jumping on columns.
Yes, in
like,
I mean, she does a lot of weird stuff.
Nancy is special. But
in Danger on Deception Island, she like jumps across sandbars.
Yeah.
Or like the slippery rocks to the sandbars.
And in Secret of the Scarlet Hand, she carries the Tzolk'in, which is like a giant slab of rock.
Yeah.
She just carries that through the museum. Like,
I love
this
that
girl
you can
is
just
strong.
like die if you don't put it down.
Oh yeah, that's a fun one. But
that'll be a discussion. For the Scarlet Hand
we're gonna
episode.
have to talk about some of the deaths in this game.
Yes,
that's gonna be a fun one.
So,
because I think this is the one with the least amount of deaths. No, it's Waverly Academy has the least amount of deaths. This one doesn't have many, but the ones that it does have quite something.
So I know
Annie
that like once you find out that that you can like crawl up out of the elevator, you can use that to kind of explore the elevator shaft. So in doing that, you can find your way into the air ducts of the castle.
Mm-hmm. And you are just crawling in there, and
you're like, wonder where this goes to.
Yeah. And
then on the other side of the air duct is the library that we've been trying to get into.
Yay!
And we're like, whoa!
And it looks terrible.
Yeah.
It has like a giant hole hacked in the wall. Like, it definitely looks like somebody just took an axe and just started chopping at the wall.
So Nancy's like, I'm gonna explore this. So Nancy crawls out of the air duct, and then the door starts jiggling because somebody's coming in.
Yeah.
And Nancy's like, oh shoot. So you have to turn around and jump back in the vent.
When I first played this game, I was so scared at this point because I'm like, somebody's definitely gonna come and look inside the vent. Nobody does that in real life. So I don't know. I was so concerned somebody's gonna come and look inside the vent.
Yeah, but nobody orders 50 chicken drumsticks for dinner either.
Yeah. Good point. Yeah, but
so
yeah,
you're watching
Dexter.
through the vent, and Dexter comes in, and he's like, crazy old man, and what'd you do with it, and like whatever else he mutters or
Dexter
whatever.
impression, wonderful. I'm
thank
applauding
you.
Yes.
So Dexter looks around for like 4 seconds, and then he leaves. And then you're like, okay, coast is clear. And Yay! You jump out, and now we can explore the library.
And if before this you were at Jacques' little door desk thing and you stole his paintbrush, which is something you can do, you can take that paintbrush, steal some of the dust from a shelf in the library, and use that dust on the doorknob to figure out the combination in case you ever find the key and go in the front door instead of taking the elevator and climbing through the air ducts.
The scenic route, if you will.
The scenic route. What scenes? What
The
scenic
scenes of-
view?
Glossy dark metal.
But yes, we have that, and so you can go around, you can read books and stuff, and that's pretty fun. You find some little fun facts about Marie Antoinette. That was pretty cool. And you can find like this globe thing, and you're like, so interesting. And I have no idea where you get like the clues on how to open up the secret passage that's in the room or the globe, because I just have it memorized at this point. So whenever I see it, I automatically put it in. I have no idea what it is. I just know it when I see the stuff.
Yeah, there's a piece of paper in the library that has like I think it's like -15, 10, and -5, and then like when you put that in,
how did nobody figure out how to get in there and do stuff since it's so easy? Like literally everything you need to get into the secret passageway is in the library, just on like, here's a piece of paper, it's definitely not suspicious and stuff like that. But anyway, you can get into a secret passageway in the library that belonged to the castle's original owner, Ezra Wickford, the inventor of chocolate milk. This is not factually correct.
No.
Unfortunately,
Wouldn't it be cool though?
But it would be funny. But didn't they call him like Daddy Chalky Milk or something? And like, I was like, oh, I don't know how I feel about that.
Wait, what? Somebody called him, huh?
Like, it was like, I forgot what it was. Maybe I'm getting that mixed up with Daddy Drew's Day Off, which also bothers me. But anyway,
that's something we'll talk about when we get to Deception Island. But did you just? I'm sorry, my brain is malfunctioning a little bit.
The chocolate milk thing. I think it's in one of the articles in his journal.
Daddy chocolate milk
or something like that. I don't know,
gosh.
But it's weird.
No, it's fine.
Back in the older days of the early 2000s, it wasn't, but these days it is. But so Nancy can go in there and she's like, "Wow, this is so cool!" And I think she has a lighter that she can use to light a candle in the room, and the candle melts in like 2 seconds. Like that is quite the candle. That is quite like how does that happen? Like. Because I know that wax can melt pretty fast.
Could it be paraffin?
But like,
I guess. I don't know.
It looked like just a regular old candle. Like, yeah, I don't know. It's a weird thing. And why did you have a candle? Like, that process is like, you take... Because there's the whole candle making process where you have to have the wax in the thing, in the mold, and then you have to put the wick in, and you have to hold that. You have to have that held up and stuff, and then you have to have the base, but they just put a key in there.
Maybe, like, since the implication was that, like, Ezra Wickford, like, holed himself up in the castle and became, like, a hermit, maybe he just, like, needed a hobby, and he started candle making.
Oh my goodness! Oh, wait! The song from Tangled! He's Rapunzel, but evil Rapunzel!
Uh-huh.
Oh my goodness! It's... Oh,
and
sorry, I love
brush
Tangled.
and brush his hair.
But Dexter won't because he's bald.
Oh.
Oh no. Sorry.
Got him.
We are hilarious. We are so funny. Okay, but so one of the things you can look at in the little passageway is this book about like these two little books that he has. And it's like, and one of them says something like, when he was good, he was very good. And the other one says, but when he was bad, he was horrid. So one of the books has a list and like all these backgrounds and like cool little snippets of his son's life. Dexter Egan. Ezra Wickford is the adoptive father of Dexter Egan. So, we got our first little secret revealed.
We got him.
But we have that, and you can look through it and you're like, wow, he did a bunch of cool stuff as a kid. He was smart and everything. And then you open up the "But when he was bad, he was horrid" book, and I don't know if this is normal, but like I don't think it's like I don't personally think it's normal for a parent to make an entire list of every single thing my child does wrong. Like personally, I wouldn't do that because that just sounds like really scummy as a parent.
Also,
Like I understand making a log of all your kids' cool achievements, because that's like you're encouraging your kid and everything, but making a list, an entire scrapbook of everything your child has done wrong? Esther Wickford, what is wrong with you?
like, it just seems like one of those weird things where you're like, what you gonna do with your Friday night, Dad? Oh, I'm going into the sad scrapbook tonight. Like,
Yes.
what? Why?
Oh god, it's like, bestie, why? What are you oh my goodness.
He needs more chocolate milk.
I don't know if chocolate milk is gonna fix this, but he has issues. He has a lot of issues. Like,
Yeah.
I don't think a normal, sane person is gonna be like, all right, this is my child. This is my not yet adult person that I am taking care of, a literal child, and I'm going to make a list of everything they've ever done wrong so they can know how bad they've been. That is not good parenting. I am sorry.
No.
Goodness gracious.
It's
So
very
anyway,
sad.
you can look through that and you're like, wow, this is problematic. And I forgot what happens next.
Okay, so this game is not like super linear, so like things can
Yeah,
happen in
it's
different
not.
orders, like in different playthroughs. But I know that if you go and check on Professor Hotchkiss again around this time, she's like, "Oh, you're still here. Maybe you could help me. Could you get me some information and about this, like for my book that I'm writing?" And she'll ask you, and it's like a random question each time you play. And I think there's like
Yeah.
8 or 10 total questions, and she'll be like, "I need to know blah 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 blah." And like some of the questions are weird, like how many windows are in the castle, or like something strange like that, and you have to like go find the answer, and then you come back and you literally have to type it on like a post-it, her little post-it
Yeah.
note thing, and pass it back to her. And if it's right,
Apparently, she
Yeah.
can't like listen to what you say. Like, you have to just say it. You have to
Right.
write it down, because I don't. She's a weird one. I
She's a
love her
weird one.
though.
And so after that, when you get it right, she's like, "Oh, well, maybe you can be trusted. Okay, well, let's talk in person. I hang out in the lobby between 3 and 6 a.m. because psycho."
Homegirl is an insomniac,
Yeah.
and honestly, that's a mood, because I too have been that person before, because I just couldn't sleep.
Sure, but are you
But
asking teenagers
I
to make
didn't-
4 a.m. appointments with you?
I was not a professor who made my office hours 3 a.m. to 6 a.m.
Right.
That's a bit much.
Yeah. So
That's
then you're
it's a
like,
bit
"Oh,
much.
swag. Okay, well, I'm going to meet Professor Hotchkiss."
Swag.
So sorry.
Yes.
So like
So
I
you set your alarm.
Yeah, so I usually run back to my room and I'm like, "Nap time." And then you get up at 3 a.m. and you like run down to the lobby. It's like Christmas morning, like run down. You're like, "Hello." And there she is, sitting in her floral dress with her beehive haircut.
I love her. I love her so much. And you can ask her all these questions about stuff, and she's a scholar in French history and doing a bunch of stuff with that. And she's looking for clues about Marie Antoinette in this tower, because she's like, yes, this tower used to belong to her. And so, like, cool stuff, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't remember anything else.
Well, I think she
But what are you-
she also
Yeah,
tells
yeah.
you she like reveals to you that I think it's around this time that she reveals to you that she had like an amulet that was taken.
Yeah.
And so she like trusts you with that information, and she says, I think, like you can be trusted and I can help you. So like, here's a key to my room. And when I'm down here in the lobby, like you're welcome to go check out like all the information that I have about Marie Antoinette. So then I like snatch the key and run up to her room, because I'm like, oh yeah, let's get the dirt.
Yeah.
And she has a few things. Obviously there's like information on her desk about like the kind of stuff she's writing about and like what she's searching for, and there's like notes and stuff, so you kind of get an idea of like why she's here, and it helps like put her in context, I think, a little bit more. And then there's a camcorder, and Nancy's like, oh, like let me watch and see what's on the camcorder, and it's Hotchkiss, and she's like walking around, and she is walking towards the portrait of Marie Antoinette, and then the part where
I need to say it first.
Okay, you go ahead and say it.
It's like, Hotchkiss to Earth, come in, Earth. Yeah. I love it so much. And you have to watch that multiple times, because when you watch the video, which you have to do it multiple times to remember everything, you can't like skip through anything, so you have to watch the entire video every time.
Mm-hmm.
And so you're like, Hotchkiss to Earth, come in, Earth.
She goes, oh, I think, is this a peephole? I do believe I'll peep. And then she like the camera's like all like jostled, and then she just goes, oh, and then it like cuts off, and you're like, oh man, what happens next? Because apparently that the battery only lasts for 30 seconds. So then you have to charge it, put it back on the charger, and charge it and the entire night until the next day, when you can watch the rest of the video, which is basically just her talking about the Marie Antoinette painting and how there's like a cool thing through the peephole. And you're like, okay, well, I'm gonna check the peephole out. So now you're like, you can go check out the peephole and see the like stained glass through the peephole. So then you have like an ally in Professor Hotchkiss, which is helpful, especially because she has so much knowledge about kind of like what you're trying to figure out, which is like why, like there must be a secret here, there must be a treasure here, if all of these accidents are happening. So I think it's around, so like two things can happen here. Also, so like, because you have found the secret room of Ezra Wickford in the library, you can go to Dexter and kind of like confront him and be like, I know you were related to Ezra Wickford. And he's kind of like, yeah, okay, like that was a long time ago, I don't really want to talk about it, blah, 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 blah. And then Nancy's like, but I do kind of want to see this garden that he talked about. And he's like, well, there's nothing out there but weeds, but like if you really want to go, like just go outside and then head to the left. So you can go see the garden.
Garden is so pretty.
Yeah, and
like even though it is like overrun with like weeds and it's completely covered in snow and everything, like that garden is so pretty.
It's like
so pretty.
It's definitely cool. And so you can go.
See, I am a sucker for secret gardens and gardens in the winter, and like okay, this is going to be kind of not a very Nancy Drew reference, but if anybody here has seen the Twice music video for their Christmas Japanese single Donut, you'll know what I mean. Like it's the snowy pretty garden thing vibes. You'll get it if you know what I mean. Yeah, it's so pretty, and it has like, when I was watching it, I was thinking, oh my goodness, it's a treasure in the Royal Tower garden. And yes, and so like snowy secret gardens. It's a banger aesthetic. So
I know
good.
If you play around in the
garden.
Yeah,
there's like this little lever on the back of a statue's head thing.
Yep. And
you can like pull the lever, Kronk. Sorry.
Pull the lever, Kronk. And I can't remember, what do you get from that?
It like turns around something and you get one of the medallions.
Yeah, I think that's right. Yeah, so you get one of the medallions and you're like, oh heck, what is this? And then you can also look at the shed if you want to, but there's not a ton out there at the time.
Or wait, do
Then,
you get one of the? I think I do get one of the medallions.
huh? Yeah, you do
Yeah,
get
yeah.
you
Because
get
it
the
plays
red
the little.
medallion. I just looked it up because I wasn't sure.
Yeah, it plays the little victory music that it plays in this game, which is cute. It's cute
Yep.
victory music.
And then so that's kind of that story trail. And then the other story trail that you can do, like before or after that one, like you can do it in whatever order, is that you can be like, okay, it's time to figure out like where that like terrible noise is coming from, like below the floor in the middle of the night. So since we know that we can like crawl up through the elevator, depending on where you set the elevator and crawl out, your different things are accessible. So if you like move the elevator up to the first floor, and then you go through the library through the front door, because you can find a key at Dexter's desk when he's not there. And then you go in, you set the alarm off, and then you go through the like opposite way through the vents. Then you can go all the way down, and there's like a grate with a lever, and you can use your oil can on it to open it. And then if you go down the stairs, there's like a door with like a memory puzzle on it.
No, this second chance that comes here is the worst ever.
In the whole series.
It is so bad.
I always tell people it's my favorite one though, because it's so like
It's
terrible.
like oh my gosh, because like you have this game where you have to like pull the right lever or pull the right little notch lock thingies, because like if you pull the wrong one it'll just snap back, but if you pull the right one in the right ones in the right order, they'll stay up. So you have to make sure you get that before the elevator comes and squishes you.
Yeah.
You are squished. There's a little like squish noise and everything, and it's terrible.
It's terrible, but it's
so
also kind
bad.
of hilarious.
It is terrible, but it is hilarious, and it shouldn't be.
So if you get in time without getting squished by the elevator, then you're like, I'm hearing sawing noises. What's going on? What's going on? And then you walk around the tunnel to the left, and you turn the corner to the right. And who is sawing this gate trying to get in?
It is Jacques. And
Jacques
we can
Brunet.
see his legs.
Mr.
And
Short
he
Legs.
actually does. Yeah, and he actually has normal sized legs in this part, but at his desk he has very short legs. So
Yeah, and so he's like, what are you doing? And you're like,
What are you doing here,
I think I should
Nazi?"
be asking you that question. And he basically explains that his grandfather, I think it's his grandfather, was the master carpenter in charge of transporting the Queen's Tower to Wickford Castle when it was bought. And he had told Jacques as a young kid that there was like a secret journal or whatever, or like in the tower. So he's like, so I'm determined to get in there and find it. So he's like, I also have a medallion, which is something that he had, I guess his grandfather or whatever had it for whatever reason. And he's like, I think they could be related and blah, 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 blah. And Nancy's like, well, you need to tell Christy. And he's like, okay, sure, I'll do that when she gets back. And do you want to go get the medallion for me? And then I'll meet you in the locker room. And he gives you the code to his locker. And so you're like, cool. So you run back to the basement and you open Jacques' locker and you can snoop through his stuff. Like, he has a letter from his fiance and she's basically like, yo, I don't want to be poor, so either get rich, like you gotta get rich to marry me, which I'm kind of like, sheesh, okay.
sheesh.
Like, all right, pressure. But because she says something like, I can't last on hot dogs and mac and cheese forever, and I'm like, yo, I could.
I actually have you ever had hot dogs in mac and cheese?
Absolutely, it's brilliant.
I used to like it, but then I had this childhood friend, same one who introduced me to Nancy Drew games and everything. But I was like going to her house every single day for this 1 week, and her mom had made too much mac and cheese with hot dogs cut up and put into it. Mm-hmm. And so we had that for like every meal. And by the end of that week, I could not ever eat that again.
No.
And to this day, I cannot eat that again.
That's understandable though.
Which, like, so I feel her, okay?
Okay,
I feel her.
that's fair. So anyway,
I
so
get that,
you
yeah.
look through his stuff, and then you're like, oh, here's a blue medallion. So you grab it, and then you get bonked. You get bonked in the head.
Bonked! It is a little. It's like boom, and then you were done. And so you wake up in your bedroom, and you wake up to a phone call, and it's Ned. And you wait, is it Ned or
No, it's
I think
Jacques.
it's Ned. It's Jacques.
Yeah.
Okay, and she's like, headache headquarters. This is Nancy.
Mm-hmm.
And like he tells you about how he like dragged you up to your room, and I'm just like thinking, did he like drag her by her leg or something? And,
Yeah,
like, that's
I don't
what,
know.
Like, that's what I'm imagining is like Jacques dragging Nancy by her feet into her room.
And it's actually, I think Dexter takes you to your room. I think that's what he says.
Oh,
the next
okay.
Time you talk to him.
Somebody is dragging Nancy into her room.
Yeah.
And it's just funny to imagine somebody dragging her by her ankles.
Yeah, and I imagine that like
Across-
as they go up the stairs with her,
the castle.
like her injured head gets knocked on every step. It's like dunk, dunk, dunk.
Sorry.
You good? You okay over there?
Just let me laugh it out. That's too funny. Because I'm imagining, oh my gosh. It makes it so much worse. Oh my goodness. Okay. That was a good laugh. That was a good, funny thing to imagine. Oh, poor Nancy. Maybe this is why she has issues with being weird about certain things. She
Yeah.
doesn't, her brain doesn't function well enough because of all her head injuries, so that she doesn't know that maybe it is a little bit insensitive to ask everybody about their dead relatives.
So I know that like when you're on the phone with Jacques, he's like, "Oh dang, well you got my medallion, right?" And she's like, nope." And then he like gets really mad, and he's like, "I trusted you, Nancy, and how could you be so careless or whatever?" Very Colin Baxter. I don't know. And then you also have a voicemail on your phone when you hang up with him.
Yeah.
And there's a voicemail from Dexter, and he's like, "Yo, you need to come down here and talk to me." And so you're like, "Oh, okay." So then,
I guess.
yeah, then you just ignore your concussion and go down to the lobby and talk with Dexter. And he's like, "Yo, so when I was dragging you to your room, I saw a bunch of red dirt on your shoes. Where that at?" And you can lie. You have the option to lie about it or to tell him the truth. And if you lie, then later when you talk to him, it gives you the option to confess. But yeah, I guess it's just depending on how you want to play. Well, I think you actually have to talk to him about the dirt.
Yeah.
I can't remember.
He's like,
I mentioned required.
Yeah, I remember. I think he's the one who's like, I saw some dirt on your feet or something. And he's like, and I recognize that dirt from the tower. And she's like, and he's like, don't worry, it's fine. And I was your age, I discovered the tower too. And she's like, oh, good, you don't hate me.
Yeah. So
he's like, nah, bro, you're fine.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So next, we have to talk to your very favorite girl, your favorite gal. We gotta talk to Lisa.
I hate her.
And you know what Lisa says? She says, "Hey sis, I got some tea. I saw Dexter carrying this green thing out to the shed. You should check it out."
I hate her.
And then you're like, "Why don't you check it out, Lisa?" And she's like, "No, you." Or what? No, it's not really how the conversation goes, but it's just how I imagine it to go.
Basically.
But
I hate her.
Yeah. And then you're like, okay. So you walk out to the shed and you find the medallion. And then you try to turn around. And you're locked in.
Yeah.
Or locked out, I should say. Because when you go back to the castle.
You're like, uh-oh.
You're like, oh, shoot. So then you're like, how do I like get help. So you go back to the shed, and Nancy's like, I will turn the ski lift on. Which seems to me like that could be very hazardous.
Yeah.
If you don't know what you're doing.
Which I guess is why Dexter came out to help her so fast after she got it out, because he's like, you could have killed somebody, or something like that.
Yeah.
Which is like, you know what? That's valid for him to be upset over that, because that is quite dangerous, but also Nancy might have died, so like, I can understand both of their reactions.
Mm-hmm.
Because like, yeah. But I hate Lisa. But
Yeah.
anyway, you get the green medallion.
Got the green medallion. So now we have the red medallion and the green medallion. But we're still missing Jacques' blue medallion. So then the next time you go into Professor Hotchkiss's room, if you explore around, you're like, if you move the pillow on her couch, you'll get the blue medallion. And then you're like, oh, shoot. Why does she have Jacques' medallion? So that's kind of sus. So now you have all of the medallions.
Oh, and my favorite part about Hotchkiss's room is that, like, on every surface, there are these little plates that have chicken bones on them.
Uh-huh.
It's like, she really did eat all those 50 drumsticks.
She really did.
Like,
girl was not playing.
She is not playing. She's something. She's doing stuff. She knows what she's doing.
Mm-hmm. I think at this point, Jacques is still probably ticked at you.
Yeah. And if you go to talk to him about this, he's like, keep that stupid medallion. It's yours.
Mm-hmm.
That was my really, really bad French accent. I cannot do a very good French accent.
That's okay.
Yeah. But neither could the voice actor for Jacques. But anyway.
I know that you can take the medallions to the peephole from, like, underneath the Marie Antoinette photo, and it will show you, like, a bunch of symbols associated with each medallion. So it's like, you should do that and take note, because that will help you later. And now we're gonna go back down to where Jacques is, where we found him sawn away, and we're gonna go into the tower.
Yeah, and isn't the key for it the one that we get from the candle? Well, we have the key somehow.
Yeah,
we have it.
We get the key,
and
I can't remember if it's in the shed or in the library.
Yeah,
but at some point we picked up a key.
Yeah, and you can go in there, and there's these little chains on the wall where you have to pull them to go in like a little triangle, upside down V kind of shape. And then the little stone turny path thing, I don't know what to call that. There's literally no word for that. Like stone step bridge thing? I don't know.
The steppy stones. The steppy jumpy stones.
The turny steppy stones. Yeah. And then there's like this little game. It's one of those things where you have to like move everything, move them.
It's like,
it's a fun kind of game.
And it's a game that we end up seeing like multiple times throughout the series too. I think this was the first iteration of it, but like the better version is like Bard's Bounce in Clock. But
and like the scarab puzzle in Tomb of the Lost Queen, and
where you have to just
the jazz. No, is the jazz puzzle from the final scene also this one, or is that different?
No, the jazz puzzle is like the Roadrunner puzzle.
Oh, it is the Roadrunner puzzle. Yeah.
Or but like the Dodo or whatever.
Yeah. But it's one of those fun puzzles.
Yeah, this one is like where you move like the movable pieces, and they have to land on top of their corresponding color square.
Yeah, but like if you like push them forward or in any direction, they will go all the way.
Yeah, until they stop on something else.
Unless they hit something else. Yeah. I mean, it's a really fun one. I love those puzzles.
Yeah, it's very
But
logical.
you solve that. Yeah, but you solve that, and then the stairs! You have stairs now! And so you can go upstairs, and there is a really, really cool room in the tower.
It's so pretty and gold.
It's so pretty! And you can, like, do, like, isn't there, like, a puzzle that you solve?
Yeah, so there's like a
With the
gold
leaves?
leaf puzzle on the wall.
Yeah!
It's like a jigsaw. But the pattern is like
And
very similar,
and you,
so
like,
it's kind of
turn
tricky.
it. Yeah. It's really fun. I love those puzzles. Puzzles are very fun. But yeah, and you can go there and you can get, isn't the journal in there? The
Yes.
journal.
The journal. Yes, the journal. Now I said it.
Yes.
I said journal like for realsies.
Journal, yeah.
The journal's in there.
Journal. And
And then you can also notice when you're up here that in the floor of this room is this little like indentation. There's 4 indentations, and the medallions fit into 3 of them, but then there's like a square or diamond shaped indentation as well. So we don't have something to go in the middle there. But we're like, the medallions probably go here. So then you're like, all right, well, I can't read the French, and Professor Hotchkiss is probably going to like pee her pants when she sees what I have. So
hold up. Hold up. Okay. So you know how in this game she can't read French?
How Nancy can't?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know she can't read French in this game?
Are you about to say something about danger by design?
Yes.
Yes. I know.
Oh,
It's very inconsistent.
Nancy, because like in this game, she's like, I don't know anything about French, and then in Danger by Design, she's like, I took French classes and I am now fluent, even though I cannot speak a word.
And she reads like the entire letter at the end of Danger by Design by herself.
Yeah. Like, girl, she's special. Nancy is special. She's something. But anyway, so we have this. And she's like, I can't read French. Mm-hmm. And so she takes it down, and at 3 a.m., she brings it to Hotchkiss, and Hotchkiss is like, oh my goodness, this is what I've been looking for. And Nancy's like, yeah, can you translate it? And she's like, yeah, sure, this is what these things mean. And she's like, yeah, I'm going to translate these little code thingies. Because before this, Nancy had put the little medallions in the peephole, and there were a lot of these little messages that she asked Hotchkiss about that they sent, that they said in the peephole thing. And Hotchkiss gives her, like, the things, and one of the things is, like, the secret is in the journal or something like that. Mm-hmm. The journal. And so Hotchkiss is like, this is the journal in the message. And so she is like super happy about that. And so she goes to her room and she decodes everything. And you have to wait a while. And then later, after everything is decoded, it says something about like the purple flower or the purple rose or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so you can be like, that must be something really cool. And so you go up to the tower, because you remember, in the big picture of Marie Antoinette in there's a purple rose she is holding. So you can go up there and you can pry off the purple rose of the little picture tile thing. And there is the little square diamond turny thingy.
The key thing.
Yeah, the key thing. It's a thing. It's a type of key. It's a special key. And so you're like, oh, that fits in the thing on the floor. And so you can put the medallions in a certain order on the floor, and you could turn it, and voila, a little pedestal arises from the floor with a diamond on it.
Ooh, look at that sparkly rock.
And then my least favorite character, the most obvious villain in any of these games, other than Ransom of the Seven Ships, she comes up and she has the funniest monologue.
Lisa's the worst.
Let me see if I can find Lisa's monologue. Lisa Ostrom.
Yeah, please read it to us if you can find it.
Yeah.
I don't have it memorized like Shorty's monologue, but I did remember, would you look at that sparkly rock?
Yeah, it's so funny. Okay, I need to I'm trying to find it. I don't think. Oh, Lisa Ostrom ending. I don't know, but she's terrible. But she has this whole thing where she's like, "I'm spraying you with my spicy devil villain venom."
Please don't. And also, please never say that again.
And everything she says in the whole monologue is so corny and funny and hilarious and iconic and terrible. It is the worst villain monologue ever. And she's like, and you belong in here. Or like, this diamond belongs with me, and I belong in the lap of luxury. Then she's like, see ya, Nancy, I'm gonna blow this popsicle stand. And so she starts running down the stairs, and if Nancy is fast enough, she can press a button on the stairs, which makes the stairs go back into the wall. And so Lisa falls into the little tower pit thing, and she's like, darn you, Nancy Drew, you're the worst friend a diamond thief could have.
Okay, thanks. Cool. Thanks for that.
It's so funny. Oh my goodness. There are a lot of really camp endings to games.
That is one of the
this
campiest.
One is one of the campiest. Not because of like the whole like tower thing. Like that is a normal Nancy Drew thing. But everything Lisa says is so funny.
And then
the funniest.
And then after that, it goes straight into like the epilogue letter or whatever. You know, the ending letter. And Nancy goes, "Dear Dad, to think I almost became friends with the diamond thief." Like, shut up.
No, girl, you weren't even gonna be friends with her. Like, she was annoying, and you barely ever talked to her. But first, before we talk any more about the letter, I need to talk about Lisa being stupid.
Okay.
So Nancy asks Lisa when she first meet her about the IDs in her bag and stuff, and she's like, well, that's just what I do as a journalist. It's part of the job. And so she knows Nancy has been in her stuff and has been rummaging through things. Mm-hmm. And then Nancy asks her, ¿Dónde está? Oh my gosh. I was going to say, ¿Dónde está el baño? I know what that means. If you don't know what that means, take a Spanish lesson on Duolingo. Shout out to Duolingo. But she says, she asks her if she speaks Spanish in Spanish, which somehow I'm blanking on.
No habla español.
Even though I took 4 years of Spanish. She asks it, and she's like, I don't speak any Spanish, even though she has an entire letter written either by her or to her in Spanish entirely. And she knows Nancy has seen it.
It's literally evidence against her within like the first 10 minutes of the game.
Yeah. And then in her little monologue about stealing the diamond, she admits to vandalizing the library because of the message in the medallion in the peephole saying the secret is in the journal, and she thought journal meant library, and journal is journal. It's the same letters, just different pronunciation. Same letters, same meaning, same word.
So
just
if
a
you
different
pronunciation.
pronunciation.
If you read it, it wouldn't be a problem.
I swear to God. And you want to know what library means do you want to know how that is pronounced in French? I have Google Translate here. This is how it is pronounced.
Bibliothèque.
How did she get that and journal mixed up? How? It's...
You know,
Lisa
your villains can't all be bright.
Oh my goodness.
We gotta have a few dumb ones.
God, and she's so obvious. Like, every time something bad happens, it's because Lisa told Nancy about something. Or, like, it's always has Lisa involved with it, and she's like, Nancy, I saw this about this. And so Nancy's like, sweet, I'll do that. And or something bad happens, and it's like, gee, I wonder who is the common thread behind everything. This is totally not at all obvious.
Yeah.
But, like, I still can't... She thought journal meant library. And she vandalized a library. She took an axe to the wall or something. Like, girl,
Would you
that's
look at that sparkly rock?
I hate her. I hate her so much. So anyway, the
That's the game.
letter. Yeah, and we have like Dexter having he has a happy ending. He does.
Mm-hmm.
And the ending is like he has the castle and I guess he's come to terms with his past and stuff. And he's like, yeah.
I forgot something I wanted to talk about. Ow! I just
Yes!
need my desk. Ouch.
Oh, have fun. I mean, get better.
Thank you.
Heal your knee.
So one thing I love about Dexter is that, like, obviously, like, he kind of has this, like, rough, gruff exterior. And, like, he's a little bit rude without being, like, all the way to rude. He's just kind of, like, just not about it. He's a little standoffish. But later in the game, as you, like, find out more about his past and are, you know, you get into the tower or whatever, if you come clean about if you tell him and, like, admit to being in, like, trying to find your way to the Queen's Tower, and that's why the red dirt's on your shoe, then Dexter actually, like, has this moment where he kind of, like, softens up towards you, and stays that way toward Nancy through the rest of the game, which I think is really good character development.
He's a great
like,
character.
Yeah, and I like it when Nancy Drew games, and I think this doesn't really happen enough, but I really like when Nancy Drew games, when you actually feel like you are forging a relationship with a character, where it feels like the conversations that you have and the choices that you make toward that character affect, like, how that character sees you, and particularly, like, in a positive way. And I think that
another good example of a character like this is Gunnar from Sea of Darkness.
Yes.
Another great character. Like, the gruff characters that they feel mean at first, but it's just because they're really hurting and they don't mean to hurt anyone. Like, that's and like Gray Courtright from The Deadly Device. And even, like, Mason in that game too is a little bit like that.
And I was also
he has a lot of, like,
like,
transactional respect, but, like,
yeah. I was gonna say like Colton from Ghost of Thornton Hall.
Oh, he's another
like
good one. Same with Wade and Harper, depending on how you to treat Harper.
That game does a lot of really good things with characters. I can't wait to talk about it. But
yeah,
I think that, like, as far as, like, I mean, this game was only game number 4, and I think it's really, like, the first time that it feels like you forge a relationship with a character. And
for sure.
It kind of, like, changes the trajectory of, like, their role in the game. So
it's very good, and I really like the way they did that with him, especially with, like, you find out his past, but, like, everything in his past, everything he did was when he was, like, either a kid or in his early 20s or something.
Right.
And so it's like, damn, that was a long time ago, and he still has a lot of regrets of that in his old age. And it's like, dude, your dad messed you up big time, buddy.
Yeah, and I think you just really come to understand him, and, like,
it's great.
Like, you
great
grow a mutual
moment.
respect between Nancy and Dexter, and I just really like that sort of thing.
Yes, I think we should move on from, like, the plot and just talk about the characters now. So we've talked about Dexter, and he's just
Lisa.
We talked about Lisa.
If you want to talk more about Lisa, it's fine.
I hate her.
Yeah?
So much.
You haven't said
I will not
yet.
ever stop saying that because I hate her. She's so annoying. And, like, all the gossip that she spreads is stuff that she's done. She's like, I heard somebody broke into Professor Hotchkiss's room. That was you, idiot. I hate you. I hate her so much. But anyway, the other two characters that we haven't talked about, you can also talk to Bess and George and Ned, but I don't think we talk to them much in this game. You don't have to.
Yeah, they
you
don't
can
have
if you
anything, like,
want
super
to,
necessary.
but yeah. But so you can so the other two characters are Hotchkiss and Jacques, and Jacques is annoying, and he also is kind of he's definitely kind of misogynistic towards Nancy, and it's kind of like, buddy, can you just shut up? And it's like, because like sometimes he like mildly flirts with her, but it's like, okay, bro, you have a fiance. Also,
Yeah.
Nancy is 18.
Are you here for the cheese?
Are you here for the cheese? But yeah, and then like the whole like, oh, you're using your youngness to like convince Dexter to help you and stuff like that. And just like, bro, that's creepy, dude. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Just Chuck has some things where I'm like, no, he's not quite Gaston level of weird French dude who has masculinity issues, but he's up there. And the last character to discuss is Hotchkiss, who is a fan favorite.
Yeah. And I think
I love
understandably
her.
so.
She's so funny and she's so quirky and like just so Hotchkiss is a fan favorite and I love her so because she's obviously very, very intelligent. She knows a ton of stuff. But at the same time, she can't keep track of anyone's name. And she eats 50 chicken drumsticks.
Yeah. She's definitely
And
a character.
Yeah, I love her. And like she makes multiple appearances in the games and she's super, super fun. And in other games you can also read books that she's written and stuff. She's super fun and I love her and just an unforgettable character because, you know, there's the whole thing of like literally everything she says is quotable. And her office hours are 3 a.m.
I love that, like, when you find the journal and you bring it back to her, she's like, I'll wrestle you for that, Nancy. And Nancy's like, yo, no need.
You do not have to. Please do not wrestle me. I am not in the mood to wrestle.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so that's fun. I love Hotchkiss.
Mm-hmm.
And
so I think overall, the two really strong characters kind of help fill the like weakness of the other two characters. So overall, I feel like generally the characters in this game are fine.
Yeah, it's got some good stuff.
Yeah. And lots of good quotes.
Yeah. And so the next thing we can discuss is the music.
Mm-hmm.
And the music it's very comforting. It's very nostalgic.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say it's the best of the series, but it's like it's you know, it feels kind of homey, you know.
I think it fits the winter vibes really, really well, and it tends
the winter
to be...
and the castle vibes because there's a lot of like Baroque
That's true.
inspiration in it.
Yeah,
which is like, you know, the period where Marie Antoinette was doing her thing, and yeah, it's very fun music, very nice. And I'm gonna say it again, Kevin Manthe. More like Kevin Mansley.
Never gets old.
It doesn't, and neither does his music.
You're
it's
right.
very good.
I do think that like this music tends to be like very ambient, and not.
It fits in a lot with the setting too. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not quite as like melodic as some of the other games are. I mean, obviously, like there's still a melody, like you can still hum along to it, but I think like, generally. Yeah,
it's very nice. I love it.
It's very nice. But yeah, the music is good. Like obviously like it fits really well. It's like one of those. I think Treasure in the Royal Tower is like a game that like it pretty much always fits when people are making like music mixes as like a transition track between like two really different kind of soundtracks. It's always just kind of like it's almost like I don't want to make it sound like it's basic, but it's a really good like baseline example of like good music.
I know what you mean. I definitely get what you mean. I don't remember if I did that or not with my music mixes, but I definitely had Treasure in the Royal Tower in those.
Oh yeah, you definitely did. I know this because I use your music mixes literally all the time.
See, they have become so like in my head that like I hear them, but like I don't register which songs are playing at what time. I just have it like in my head permanently. You know what I mean?
Like just the flow.
Like yeah, I don't think about it. I don't know anything about it. It's just there.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's very nice music. And the next thing we have is the puzzles. And I'll say this game isn't like a super puzzly game.
It's really not. I think
Maybe it's better on Senior Detective, but I haven't. There's only one game that I've completed on Senior Detective, and we already talked about it. So
yeah. The thing about
But yeah,
Treasure
it's
and
fun
Royal
puzzles.
Tower, I think, in regards to puzzles, is that like it really does not have that many puzzles in the traditional sense of the word
yeah,
puzzle.
it doesn't. But like in like I think I'd consider like the elevator thing kind of a puzzle
Yeah,
because you
I
have
think
to figure
like
out
a
like
lot
how
of the puzzles are like
yeah
environmental puzzles.
yeah, and like the lights navigating the castle and everything.
Like exploratory kind of puzzle, like
Yeah,
figuring out
yeah.
how things work in order to
They're
progress your exploration.
they're very well integrated into the story. The puzzles are, which sometimes the puzzles get like really like this does not fit into the story at all. Like one game that really sticks out for me with that is the Silent Spy. Like I love that game, but also some of the puzzles are like, why is this a thing?
Like this doesn't make any
what is
sense
the
why this would
reason
be
for
set up
this?
this way. Yeah.
But like in Treasure of the Royal Tower, like everything has a purpose. Like every puzzle has a really good reason to be there, and I think that was like super well done.
Yeah.
All right,
I agree.
and the last thing we are going to talk about for the game is the atmosphere and the setting.
Fantastic, I think.
I love it. I love it. If there was a game that could get remastered, I'd want this one to be one of the ones that gets remastered because can you imagine like modern graphics for the stained glass windows
Oh my gosh, yeah,
and
like
the secret
snow
garden
effect.
and the library and stuff? That would be so beautiful. I love it. The only thing I don't love about the setting is actually I don't think there's anything I don't like about the setting. I think it's all really well done. Like even like the trippiness of navigating the castle. I think that's really fun. I like it. It's fun.
Yeah, I think the atmosphere, it's definitely like a game that I would consider to be like kind of like homey in a way.
Yeah, it's definitely very nostalgic and like comforting. You know, it's a very good, very nice.
Yeah, and
I
since,
love the little entry room waiting sitting area with the fireplace and stuff, except when Lisa's there, then I hate it.
I think it's like one of those games where like it feels very big, but it also feels like it's very like manageable in regards to
Very
exploration.
personal, yeah.
And then
Yeah.
like once you understand the layout of the castle, it like becomes familiar in a way and like in a comforting way.
Yeah, it's very nice. I like it.
So definitely good setting for me. Plus I think it's perfect to like obviously it's like part of the plot to set it in winter because you're snowed in, but I think that was a good choice.
That's always a fun excuse to have a little locked room mystery. To have no way for anybody to get out or get in. I love that. There's another good locked room mystery with that, and that's Agatha Christie's Mousetrap. If you guys haven't read or seen the play, The Mousetrap, it's super good. I highly recommend it. Anyway, so it's I love snowed in mysteries. They're so much fun. But yeah, it's a great setting. I love it. Alrighty, so overall ranking.
So of all of the games, this one falls in 11th place for me. So pretty high. Just shy out of the top 10. So I think I would give this one like an 8 out of 10. Yeah, I feel comfy right about there.
My only real problem with this game is the villain, because one, I hate her. Two, she's super obvious and stupid, and I hate her. And three, her voice is annoying, and I hate her.
Okay.
Do you so hate her? Like,
do you hate Lisa? I get this
a little bit. I hate her. I might just
Okay.
a little bit, just a tad. But But there's that. But other than that, like, I'd agree with you, but because of Lisa, I have to dock it down 1 point, so a 7 out of 10. It's kind of like a mid-tier game for me, which
Okay.
I don't think any of these games are bad,
Right.
except Ransom of the Seven Ships and the Shattered Medallion. Ransom of the Seven Ships for obvious reasons, and Shattered Medallion because I still do not know what that game is about, and I've played it like 5 times. But, like, this game, it's definitely not bad. I just hate Lisa.
Right.
So it isn't that kind of like mid-tier. It's not in my top 10. I don't know if it's the top 15, maybe top 20, but it's like, it's a good game. I like it.
Mm-hmm.
If only Lisa hadn't ruined it.
If only Lisa.
I don't like her. All right, so I think that is the end of
I think
today's
that's everything.
episode.
We covered everything.
Wait, I think I missed something. I think
Okay.
did I mention that I hate Lisa? Did I mention that? I can't remember if I mentioned that.
familiar.
Yeah.
So I think you might have covered that.
Yeah. Alrighty. Well, that has been the episode on Treasure in the Royal Tower.
Yay.
All right, and we will be back in 2 weeks. All right, and do you want to close this out?
Sure. Follow us on the Instagram and the Tumblr if
The
you are not
Tumblr and the
already.
Instagram, and also the YouTube.
Oh yeah, and the YouTube because
We
our
are also
episodes
on
go
the
there as
YouTube.
well as Spotify.
Yeah.
Unless you're
And
listening.
the Spotify, yes.
Yeah, if you're listening on YouTube right now, then also follow us on Spotify. Like, just follow us on all the places. Also because, especially our Instagram, because for future episode ideas that we have, we are going to want to get continued input from you guys like we did previously with our spookiness episode. So follow us there so that you can give your input and have your responses featured in upcoming episodes. So,
Yay! Yeah.
but yeah,
Alrighty.
I hope you guys have a great rest of the day. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you again soon.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.